Cimoooooooo!
What's going on, guys? It's Cimo. Now today I want to bring to you a video discussing the two exclusive TCG archetypes that are currently getting support out of the latest sets, and those are Spyral and Subterror. Now the reason I wanted to discuss this is because there's a lot of debate in the community right now as to which of these two archetypes is going to be considered the good archetype, because as the past has shown, when we have two TCG exclusive archetypes, one of them is usually the better archetype or the good archetype, and the other one is usually kind of just falls by the wayside for the most part. And with Invasion Vengeance coming up rather quickly, a lot of people are kind of scrambling thinking, oh, which one's going to be the better one, so which one should I pick up in case, you know, the cards just dramatically spike in price, which is very likely to happen depending on the type of support that these archetypes get. So I kind of just wanted to give you a little bit of a comparison, give my thoughts as well, and you can also make your own conclusions from this too. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. So I'm going to start off with Spyral. Spyral is a really interesting archetype because it kind of relies on the ability to predict the top card of your opponent's deck to be rather potent. At least that's what we can kind of draw to the conclusion of based off of the cards we have so far. We have Spyral Super Agent, which is kind of like, you know, the whole archetype's based around this one card. It has the ability to pop spell and traps, which is pretty cool, and can also special summon itself so it doesn't eat your normal summon. It also has cards like Spyral Quick Fix, which in tandem with Machine Duplication can basically be like a Stratos and can generate you huge amounts of advantage, being able to get you all the Spyral Gear cards that you really want. Now, the Spyral Gears are kind of cool. One of them, I think, is Big Red. That one's a premature burial for the archetype that you don't pay life points for, so that's pretty fucking neat. And the other one, the Drone, it's okay. It like has the potential to be kind of good, but for the most part, kind of lackluster. But overall, the archetype's really interesting, and a lot of people are kind of thinking, well, because it's the lower rarity archetype, it's not going to be the better archetype, because the archetype is only currently comprised of one ultra rare, which is the Spyral Super Agent, and the other three cards are rares. But you know what other archetype started off with one ultra and three rares? That would be Cosmo. And then in Dimension of Chaos, we got Big Daddy Dark Destroyer, and basically Farm Girls became a $90 ultra rare, and Dark Destroyers became $150 straight out of the box for the most part, and will continue to just be a dominant meta deck from there on out. So it's really hard to say. You can't judge basically the potential of the deck on its rarity, because we've had examples in the past that kind of counteract that whole notion. Same thing goes for Burning Abyss. Burning Abyss had three rares, albeit it had a secret rare, but still, it started off with that, and it's been the best meta deck for the last 2 years. At least one of the best meta decks, I should say. So, overall, Spyral is a really interesting archetype. It's going to be really kind of crazy to see what kind of support it gets. It has some potential, but it's really going to just be up to the new cards to see where it takes it. Now, if we get a card that's like Spyral Gear fucking F-16 Fighter Jet that you equip to your Spyral Super Agent, makes its attack 4,000, makes it basically unaffected by card effects, and once per turn, if you can predict the top card of your opponent's deck, you get to banish a card on the field. Like, okay, that would make the archetype fucking broken, but I don't think we should have our hopes too high that that's going to be a card that exists. If it is, holy fuck, like, we're going to be in for it. But moving on, let's go into Subterrors. Now, Subterrors are really interesting because they rely on the flip mechanic. And the last archetype to rely on the flip mechanic was Shaddolls. And Shaddolls were a really, really dominant meta deck from their time, until Construct sadly hit the ban list. Now, the deck is really interesting. We have cards like Umastrix, who when it's flipped up can banish a monster. We have Stalagmo, which is a trade-in for the deck. You discard one of the other Subterrors and draw 2 cards, so the deck has some draw power. You have Subterror Nemesis Warrior, which is crying for abuse because it essentially lone fire tutors any of the cards out of the deck, which is just absolutely nuts. And then you have a card like the Hidden City, which is an incredible field spell because not only is it a road up for the entire deck, but it also allows you to basically trigger the mechanics of the monsters themselves as well. So, honestly, Subterrors have pretty much all the components they need to be an extremely, extremely good archetype. And a lot of people are arguing because they're high rarity. Hidden City is a secret, the 2 monsters are ultras, and Nemesis Warrior is a rare, that people are arguing it's going to be the better archetype. But Noble Knights were also high rarity, and they didn't really do too well, as a lot of us know. They had that fabled, oh, if we get this one card, Noble Knights are going to be amazing. And they never got it. We got Noble Knight Brothers. That was pretty much it. So that's why, again, you can't really use rarity as kind of a determinant to see, oh, you know, this is going to be the better archetype, because in the past, we have evidence to basically go against that claim. Now, as for the potential of the deck, there's so much synergy with things like Prediction Princess Tarot Tree, and then we also have things like Brilliant Fusion combos. The deck actually has had some competitive relevance, albeit maybe on like a local level or a very low regional level, but the deck actually it has a lot of potential because the monsters are big, the effects are really good. The monsters alone, just standalone, are just incredible, and Nemesis Warrior, again, is just screaming for abuse, because any Subterror monster that they print, Nemesis Warrior is going to be able to easily get it out of the deck for you, and if Prediction Princess becomes the build that kind of goes along with it in tandem, then you can use Prediction Princess to basically enable these combos like fucking crazy. So it's going to be really interesting to see the kind of support that we get for this archetype as well. Overall, I really think that between the two archetypes, I think Subterrors have more potential, just because, again, I gotta keep reiterating, Nemesis Warrior is too good of a card. The deck it just seems more cohesive to me at the moment. I mean, anything can happen in Invasion Vengeance when we get some crazy fucking support. Like in the next set, Spirals might get the fucking nuts, and then Subterrors might get absolute trash. Like, we don't know. And that's kind of the fun of it, is that we can speculate and kind of see, oh, how good are these decks really going to be? But I think the fact that Subterrors to me seem more of a cohesive archetype as it stands, and the fact that the deck has somewhat of a competitive potential as it currently sits as well, is why I think Subterrors moving forward might be the way to go. But that's just totally my opinion. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about the debate between Spyral versus Subterrors. Which side of the line do you fall on? I really want to hear your guys' opinions. And that's going to be it. So thank you guys so much for watching the video as always. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you next time. Cimoooooooo!